Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of videos. Today we have got the third exercise in our middle game training regime that I'm currently doing. This is from the fourth game of the American Chess Congress. Don't worry guys, for those thinking that you might have missed a game, you haven't. It was just simply that I think the second game, the solution was quite straightforward. It was just a simple recapture. So I decided to avoid that instead of doing a 10-minute video on that. And well, here we are. This is the fourth position. I believe the players, we've got Daniel Willard Fisk, no idea who he is, and Napoleon Marach, I think his name was. Not too sure, but I've probably totally mispronounced it. Two totally unknown players that played in this Congress. Neither of them, to be honest with you, really did anything bigger than this. These are their only real games on the chessgames.com website. Okay, in any case guys, just before I start, I'd just like to remind you all, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, click the notification bell. This will update you on any more of my middle game training videos, any other videos that I do put up on this channel. Also as well, if you do like this training regime, make sure to leave a like as well, and if you manage to get the right solution, love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you did, or if you didn't get the right solution, I'd also like to hear that as well. So it'd be quite interesting to see how you've done versus it. Right, okay, so let's go into the study. So I'm going to get the timer ready. Okay, so the timer's been started, so let's go and dive straight into this. Okay, so a few things to consider. So when I first looked at this particular position, I actually would say that I don't think black's winning. If I'm being honest with you, I actually think probably white's got a slight edge in this position. The simple reason for that is I think white's activity is he's got a lot, I think, kind of going for it. I think black is a little bit more passive, if I'm being honest, in this position. If I was to look at different aspects of this position, I think there's some interesting things to maybe consider. So in terms of king safety, I probably would say that actually maybe black's king is probably slightly safer than white's king. And this is only simply because black has got this black rook, it's doing something on here. I don't think white has got as much sort of firepower, although looking at it, this is a potential problem for black. I think this would be a bit of a thorn in black's side if he was able to get a queen lodged in here. After a simple exchange, this pawn is wedged right into black's position. So that is actually certainly a big threat to think about. But more importantly as well, look at this. This is a simple recapture here. So we've got to, yeah, it's going to be tough for black. I honestly don't think black's position, it's probably one of the only positions I've seen throughout looking at this tournament from Move 21. I actually think that I don't think black's better here, but that's just me personally. Material wise, let's just have a quick count just to make sure we're on the same here. So yeah, we've got 7 pawns, 3 sets of minor pieces, like so, and then the 2 queens, and then 2 sets of rooks. The material is even. Activity wise, so when I assess position, as I say, I prefer white's activity here. I think although with that said, I mean, let's go over each of the pieces. I mean, black's bishop here right now is not doing a whole lot, but it could come very active after maybe a couple of exchanges. It does actually start to get a bit active, so that's something to consider. He hasn't got the bishop pair, white's got the bishop pair here. But white's bishop over here, I'll be honest, is not doing a whole lot. It's very hemmed in. These black pawns really do, these black squared pawns really do hamper the effectiveness of this bishop. What else to consider? This is a very nice knight. This is also a very nice knight. This knight here is a little bit passive. I'm not too sure. I suppose it's helping defend here, but largely I wouldn't say it's the best place for it to be in. As for the rooks, both white rooks seem to be fulfilling some role. Maybe not so much this one, but certainly this one here is controlling this open file. But this one's got a relatively nice defensive role, and it could easily, if this knight was to move, start manoeuvring round maybe, potentially. Pawn structure wise, this is actually probably where black's got some trump, in the sense that white has got double pawn here, and that's certainly a target. And I think actually one of the ideas I was thinking of is, if let's say there's ever this exchange, white just simply recaptures back, and he's undouble the pawns. But with that said, in actual fact, we've got quite a lot of pieces hitting this pawn. So this is certainly a big target to think about. The problem right now for black is just simply, how does he meet this threat here? So he's got this threat, he's also got this threat as well. So in my initial thoughts in this position, the 30 seconds I just had rook e8 just to defend the knight. In my 3 minutes I didn't really have anything much better than just rook e8. But I wonder if there's anything better in this position. So I guess one idea potentially is going rook here instead of rook e8, as this at the very least blocks this check. So, if he does do queen here, I'm not in a sort of rush to have to try and recapture. Although, with that being said, maybe I'm overemphasizing this threat. I actually don't think this is actually as good as I think it is, because I'm not forced to recapture in any way at that point. So if a queen came here, I tuck my king into the corner. Is what it is. So if I did rook to e8, at the very least, okay, so queen comes here, I move my king to the corner. If there's a capture, I capture back. I mean, the problem I've got is just this pin is just a bit nasty. So maybe rook here is probably a little bit more accurate. So I go here, that's defended now, queen comes here, I'm not worried about this capture. So what can I do here as black? It's a very tough position. So typically in these sort of positions, because black has got, in my view, a slight space disadvantage, it's probably in his best interest to try and exchange stuff. So actually, even if the queen did come here, I wouldn't be that worried. But it's just what I do about this knight. This is the real... Can I move this knight away? Queen jumps in. I move away. And then there's an added issue. He actually has a tactic here. Oh no, the knight defends the square though, so it's okay. I was thinking if it goes here, it capture back, and some sort of skewer along here, but the knight defends that square. Another problem actually, that's something I didn't consider, is this knight is defending this pawn as well. So if I was to lose it, captures. Yeah. This pawn then falls. So it's a very tough position. It's not particularly nice to have to make a move like this, but at least it's not losing. I just can't see anything more active than that, to be honest with you. So I think rook to e8, rook to f7 seem to me to be the only decent moves. If knight here, check. I don't have to react to this threat, but this pawn just becomes a little bit exposed. But even then, actually, okay, here. Oh, it comes with check there, that's the problem. Okay. I can never capture it as well, it's really annoying. He just improves his position massively. So rook to e8, maybe. Okay, well, I'm down to 30 seconds left, so I've got to make a decision now. So I think I'm actually going to go for f7, just because I don't really want to have to worry about the pin for the rest of the game. It's not nice that I have to make a move like this, but I guess it doesn't lose at this point. Oh, actually, hold on a sec. Do I want to do that? Knight here. Okay, right. Well, do you know, I'm going to quickly make a move then. I'm going to go rook to e8 as my move. And that is that. So, let's see what the actual best continuation was. So, let's have a look. Right, okay, so going back. Okay, so we were correct. Right, so rook to e8 was the best move. So coming to e8. So that's positive. It's interesting actually. It likes black, but only slightly. And I wonder if it's just all to do with this pawn as being a bit of a focal point. Let's have a look at continuation anyway. So queen comes here. A capture, so we can get away with a capture. Very interesting. After this move, knight to e4. Oh, I see. So that then uncovers this. So, very fascinating. Okay. Knight to d4. And then c5. Okay. c8. Very odd position. Very odd. But we're going to be recapturing this pawn. So it doesn't look great, but we're up a pawn, so it's like we can kind of slowly untangle ourselves here. So that's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Okay. So that was the right move, thankfully. If we look at some other moves, yeah, I mean, we did consider this, and this just, yeah, totally loses. So I'm glad we talked ourselves quickly out. Knight to g5, absolute immediate threat. So we definitely can't do that. We look a bit silly actually, because then we have to move the rook away, and then this knight falls. So not a great position. It's just it's reanalyzing here actually. What is it saying now? Rook to e8. It's sort of changing up its analysis a little bit. I haven't got this on the best depth, to be honest with you, so let's see if I do it. If I run it at a bit higher depth, is it going to work? No. Oh well. It's only on 15 depths, it's not brilliant, but actually it's giving white a better advantage now here. And then the move that we did consider, knight to g6, knight to d4. Okay, so again, another idea, and then, ooh, that is a hole and a half. Yeah. No, definitely not good. Definitely not good. Okay. Well, that's really interesting. So what I'll be interested to see how the game continued. So let's have a look. Okay, so we return to the game. I've got the full PGN now. It's very interesting actually. I was just having a quick browse at the black player Napoleon Marach. I actually said he wasn't particularly well known player. Apparently he wrote a very important chess manual. It was one of the first published chess manuals in the United States. So in actual fact, probably wasn't as unknown as I thought he was. But there we go. We learned something new today. So right, let's have a look. So the actual game went knight to g6. So we already explored. We already explored the e8 line. Well, he decided to go knight to g6. So I think is an inaccuracy, definitely. But well, white doesn't find the most precise continuation. Why he decided to capture, I don't know. It allows black to open up with activity. There's a few moves played, but yeah, basically this is a cool little, cool interesting threat. So if this ever captured, well, this would be a simple mate in 2. So that's why he decided to do that. Knight to f6, queen banging back to e2, just to help to try and defend the position. Knight to e4, h4, now re-attacking this pawn. Queen came to e7. I don't think white was too sure what to do here, as well, after the rook came to b8, bishop came to d3 to try and get back into the defense of the position. Suddenly black came crashing in. The game didn't really last too much longer. With the king's protection now removed, it didn't take black long to defeat his opponent. f5 was played. Rook came to h5, getting ready to come over to this square. c1 was bishop c1 to sort of prevent that for the time being, but now a capture occurred and a few pieces get swapped off here. But as the position starts to open up, it is black who is going to be in a much favourable position, just due to the fact that white's king is horribly exposed here. So there was a few more attempted exchanges. White made a pretty big blunder here and captured here on a7, which just allowed a very simple finish here. So the point being now, wherever this king goes, it's going to be a losing position. So white in fact resigned. I'll just show you one potential continuation. If king came to f1, there's a check, and the point being, if he comes here, rook comes to e8, just piling on the pressure here. If let's say the queen captures here to try and defend this won't matter, as now rook captures. If let's say the king captures here, then knight comes here with a fork. Not a great position. In fact, it is now declaring mate in 11 here. So king come here, start crashing in very, very easily. So a very nice victory for Napoleon here, and a very interesting game. I wasn't sure how black was going to get out of that, but it just so happens if you just find the moves that look right, then you should do very, very well. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Take care, bye.